Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about something that worries a lot of IELTS students when they're preparing for the IELTS speaking part of the test. And that of course is vocabulary. I see many students become overstressed and really worried about this. They have only a couple of months maximum to try and get the band level they need in IELTS to be able to move on with their goals and ambitions. But if you watch this video, please fear not, because it's not as difficult as you may think it is at this time. What I want to emphasize in this video is that simple is better, particularly when it comes to vocabulary. And if used properly, you can still easily achieve your band 7, which is what you should be aiming for in your level test. And you can do that easily. Using simple vocabulary and using it within context is the answer. So I'm going to talk about 6 points that I'd like you to consider and work on. The first point is that you should focus on clarity and accuracy, first and foremost. Remember that the IELTS examiners are looking for clarity and understanding in your speech. Now, everyone would like to use complex words to impress the examiners, but the problem being is that if you get these words wrong or use them out of context, instead of boosting it up, they'll destroy you, because using them out of context and in the wrong way is going to degrade your attempt at impressing the examiner. Instead of these complex words, focus on the words and vocabulary that you can easily understand and use effectively. Now, the second point I'd like you to consider is that you should master common topics. And what I mean by mastering common topics, IELTS speaking revolves around the common topics such as families, environment, hobbies, work. But many students try to memorize intricate words that they can use with specific topics. That's making life very, very difficult and very hard for the students, you know. Much better that students try to master a common vocabulary that they can use for various topics and use easily and confidently. By being able to apply your vocabulary to the common topics, it's going to stretch out to cover virtually everything that you're going to be asked. Being fluent and confident will make a much better impression than using complex words that are going wrong. Now for the third aspect, and here I'm going to talk about synonyms and context. You know, it's easy to boost your vocabulary by learning some synonyms for common words. So you can interchange between the synonyms and the common words easily, and it varies your conversation also. However, a word of warning: always use synonyms that you fully understand and that you can fit into the context appropriately. Never force complex words into your speech just to impress, because it could go wrong. Okay, just for clarity, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, if you look at common words, and you'll find many synonyms for a lot of common words. For instance, here's some example here. Beautiful could be gorgeous or dazzling. Begin could be start or open. Big could be enormous or huge. Brave could be courageous or fearless. If you look up on the internet and you look for synonyms for common words, you're going to find lots and lots. And these make your talking and your conversation much more interesting, because you can vary it a lot by using the various synonyms. The fourth aspect I'd like to talk about is phrasal verbs and idioms. If you're wanting to achieve a high band score in speaking, and I'm talking, when I say high band score, once again, I'm talking band 7 or band 7 plus upwards, then you need to be able to use phrasal verbs, and idiomatic speech. Now then, once again, my advice is don't go overboard. Don't learn complex ones and try to fit them in here and there where you can, because the chances are you'll get it wrong. You'll put them in out of context, and instead of helping you and putting you in the right band that you need to be in, is going to detract from it. So learn simple ones that you fully understand and that you can apply easily to the common topics. Once again, go to the common topics of IELTS and how you could actually adapt idioms to go in there. Now, if you look at my channel list, you will actually see that I've produced a couple of videos on the use of idioms, and I would suggest using them. Now, the fifth aspect that is very important and is probably one of the bigger aspects that you've really got to consider is practicing what you're doing and feedback. Why do I say that? If you don't practice and you don't have feedback on how you're doing, then how are you going to know you're getting better? And how are you going to get better unless you practice? Try and get involved in regular speaking sessions with friends, family, similar students learning to speak English, and use these to improve your English. If you have these sort of groups you can work with, then ask them to give you feedback on what they think. Also, very big aspect, record what you're doing when you're speaking. Even if you're speaking to yourself, record how you're speaking and listen to it and find out what you think about your progress. Absolutely imperative that you do these sort of exercises regularly if you want to progress rapidly. Remember, it's very important to have a good, strong vocabulary of simple words than to have to struggle with complex ones. That goes without saying. The sixth and final point I'd like to highlight to you is set yourself realistic goals. You may see on YouTube, or you might hear people say, aim for band 8 or band 9. But remember, it's okay to aim for these high band scores, but do you have time to achieve them? Because getting that level of complex vocabulary and bringing it all together is difficult and it takes time. So much better to aim for a band 7, which you can achieve in a relatively short time if you're committed and determined to get there. And believe me, because I know a band 7 can open doors and get you to where you want to be, for sure. So in conclusion, never underestimate the power of simple vocabulary. That's what the majority of us use all the time. Embrace it, practice it, and use it, particularly within the context of IELTS speaking. Just remember that clarity and accuracy matter most. So keep your preparation realistic and focused and within your capabilities. If you do that, then you'll get it. You've got it already. One final point I'd like to make is that I teach a lot of students IELTS and TOEFL, and I give them exercises to do on a daily basis, just small 10-minute exercises that really bring along their fluency and their vocabulary and bring it all together. These short 10-minute or so lessons. And now I'm going to start making these lessons for YouTube. So I would advise you, if you want to really advance quickly, have a look at these lessons. And you can get them very quickly when I upload them by subscribing to the channel, liking it, and ringing that bell. Also, if you know any other students that are struggling, then please share these videos with them. It would be appreciated. Okay, good luck with your IELTS.